Hey everyone, this is Nick from Mecca Warehouse, and today we're back with weekly update number 163. Let's jump right into it with week in review. This is where we talk about what's been going on in the warehouse, things that are coming up, stuff like that. Ethan's out today. I guess he's not feeling well, so using the other camera and trying to get all that set up. So hopefully the settings are right. Haven't had to do that in a long time, but we'll make do regardless. So first up, I guess though, this week we are finally what I would consider caught up. We had some speed bumps last week that I mentioned, and we're back to caught up on orders going out. We're still working on catching up on some stuff coming in and warehouse organizational stuff. A bunch of shipments came in, so a lot of stuff to check in. Still trying to get everything checked in, homed, cleaned up, reorganized, things like that. It's coming along. Expect in the next week or two, that stuff should get a whole lot better. Hopefully, that's the plan. Looking forward to having it feel a little bit less chaotic again. But who knows, it might not be long before it's chaotic again. Speaking of chaos, though, we did have an interesting situation on Monday. Our post office pickup didn't show up when expected. We called, and they ended up sending a dude with a pickup truck for one of our largest post office pickups ever, which was kind of crazy. Wish we had B-roll of it. We don't, but we ended up boxing up a lot of the shipments into larger boxes using like PG boxes and the like to allow us to more securely pack them into the bed of that pickup truck. He ended up coming back twice, or coming back once, I guess. Total of 2 trips to get everything, and basically filled that truck up twice. It was kind of crazy. He came back. I was able to stick around a little bit later for him to come back for that second trip, so we were able to get everything out that day, which was good. It helped us getting back to this kind of caught up state that we're back into now. Also seeing a lot of orders ready to ship. I think last week I mentioned that we have a ton of stuff incoming or about to be incoming. We saw some more this week. We've got a huge shipment ready to ship any day now, and a few other decent sized shipments getting there. So the next week or two, we should continue to see a lot more stuff coming in, which is good. A lot of newer releases, reprints, things like that. So that's kind of exciting as well. And then one more thing for the weekly update or week in review here is thinking about, we're not quite ready yet to make a change if we were, but I figured I'd put it out to the audience for feedback. Thinking about potentially transitioning from a weekly update to more like a monthly recap kind of thing. Condense what we're talking about, maybe get some more footage of what's going on, and kind of make it a less frequent but bigger, more vlog-like video experience. I'm curious what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments below if you have any feedback on that. It's something I'm thinking about doing maybe in the new year or something like that, and I'd be curious what you guys think about it. Next up, let's move on to team picks. This is where members of the team show off a build that they've done recently. Let's go see what they did.
All right, so this week I brought in the gun platoon. It's about a SD in proportions. It's got 2 ways to be displayed. You can build them all up, or you can build him and then put him back on a runner. It's a new material called Limex that they're using for the creation. Feels like a softer plastic. If you get one, you'll notice it's gonna feel a little different. Be careful with your second cuts. The softer plastic can scratch. Other than that, it was fun little lunchtime build.
Hey guys, Ethan here for Team Picks. I lost my voice, so I will be using text-to-speech. Today I'm showing you my Jengar from Bandai. It's been a while since I had built a Pokemon, so I decided that I would pick this up when it came in a few days ago. This is definitely the best Pokemon kit I've built, as there are a couple different build options for him. There are 2 tongue sizes as well as 2 separate face shapes. One smiling and one with its mouth open. There are also different eye stickers, so you can change up where he is looking. I built this quickly with 0 tools, which is why the nubs are still visible, but for a kit that I pulled off the runners with my hands, it looks pretty good. I have plans to do a full seam line removal and repaint, making him the shiny version, so I will be sure to bring him back in for an update when I am finished. Overall, it's a quick, fun, and easy build that was a nice change of pace from what I normally build.
All right, that is it for team picks. Let's move on to Q&A. So this is where I answer questions from you, the viewers. If you have a question you want answered, post it down in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer it next time. All right, so first up, Charles Lane question, when do you expect to have a restock of Gaia Notes paints? I don't have a firm timeline on that. We've been able to restock a few times this year so far because the distributor we get that stuff through does have a stock on hand. I think they were putting out some requests a few months back about some new paints and what people wanted to order. So I suspect at some time in the next few months, we'll probably be able to do another Gaia Notes restock. I'm not sure exactly when, kind of depends on a bunch of factors that I just don't have more information on right now. Okay, next up, Keith Bishop. How is Display lacquer paint selling and moving for you? Are you going to pick Display's new acrylic paints and primers too? If so, would you put together a few full sets to sell as you did at one point with the Display lacquers? I don't know that we ever did actually sell a set with the Display lacquers, but they are moving. We're especially seeing the move now that we restocked them a couple weeks ago. There have been plenty of large Display paint orders as of late. So I suspect at some point we probably will pick up those paints with our next Display paint type order. And as far as doing sets, possibly, I can definitely look into it. It's something that we'd want to consider up front. It's hard to know. I guess if you are somebody who might be into that and want to buy a full set or a set of maybe a subset of the line or something like that, let me know in the comments down below, because that would be helpful to know if it's something that's worthwhile to do. It can be challenging to manage inventory when we have to buy them individually and then try to collect them as a set. They don't always fulfill everything all at once every time, just due to the nature of the supply chain, and because of that it makes it relatively hard to make a set without buying extra stock, hoping everything actually arrives, and then if it doesn't, then it kind of makes some things difficult. So that's the main reason we won't if we don't. All right, next question, Plastic Germs. Question, when purchasing items from suppliers, are you forced to purchase any unwanted items or forced to take X amount of a certain item in order to obtain it? This is a good question. So some distributors require us to take case quantities only. It's because of the way they set up their logistics and their pricing and things like that, and it totally makes sense. It's a lot easier to grab a case of something off the shelf and ship it. You just slap a label on it and go, versus having to spend the actual time to pack that order. We know from packing the larger orders we get that can be a lot more challenging and time consuming than just slapping a label on a case or packing a small order with only a few items in it. We have had distributors give us opportunities to save money by buying other items that weren't maybe on our list. Take a case of this stuff that we really want out of here, and we'll give you a deeper discount on this other stuff. So we've seen that before. We're generally not forced to take anything other than things that we order. So as long as we're careful with our ordering, we aren't usually forced to take unwanted items per se. Usually if a distributor wants us to take something, they will price it more competitively, give us some other incentive, etc. Fun question, what type of comedy did you grow up with, and what type do you enjoy today? I don't know, I feel like I like a lot of comedy, and there's kind of a range that I enjoy, and I don't know how it's really changed. I couldn't really tell you the historical trends of what I enjoy and don't enjoy for comedy, I guess. But in terms of like movies and stuff like that, I definitely appreciate good puns and wordplay and things like the Marx Brothers. There's definitely a lot of good stuff in there where it's just very creative wordsmithing, and the way it's written it can be very funny without having to go for ridiculous visual gags and things like that. That said, some just of the over-the-top comedy, like the Will Ferrell and Ben Stiller type movies and things like that, I've definitely enjoyed some of those. But I don't know that there's a particular type of comedy per se. I guess I'm not that fancy with what I watch and pay attention to. All right, next up, D9. There's a certain Japanese shop that frequently offers free shipping, extremely low prices, and kits that we won't see in the States for months. How does Mecca Warehouse compete with that? So first of all, I'd say we kind of don't, because theoretically Japanese stores aren't supposed to be selling direct into the US per Bandai agreements and the like. But practically speaking, everybody competes with everybody to some extent. It's just the nature of how things are. I don't put any thought into trying to compete with them because, quite frankly, they're not based here. And really, it's about trying to offer the best prices we can and the best customer service we can. I don't think anybody else comes close to us for base prices. We're pretty much always the best, or at least really close to it. We don't have sales tax here in New Hampshire, so that's a savings for anybody that shops at stores that have sales tax. I'm not sure what the Japanese stores do, if they handle that stuff or not. We try to ship as fast as we can. Our customer service is top notch. We pride ourselves on trying to do the right thing and handle things ethically. And ultimately, I think what's most important for people to keep in mind is that if you want certain stores to exist because maybe they exhibit good business ethics, they're trying their best to build and foster community like we are, then you shop with those stores that you want to exist. I would not be surprised if in the next couple of years we see a huge change in the landscape here in the US. Things are more challenging now to sell Gunpla than it was a couple of years ago when things were really easy, just because if you could get the stock, you could sell it with no problem. Now things are getting to be a little bit different, and I wouldn't be surprised to see stores go out of business and the like. And if that happens, or as you shop, you should keep in mind which stores do you want to exist 2 years from now, because the exchange rates and all the things that make the current landscape what it is won't be true forever. Everything will always be changing. So I guess ultimately just support the stores that you want to support. And we appreciate those who support us. And then finally, Kitsune question, have you ever considered building a resin kit or resin upgrades? If you have built one, what was it? So I haven't built any so far. I'm definitely interested. I've seen some really cool things done in resin, some of the details, some of the way the kits go together, some of the resin dress-up kits and upgrade kits and stuff look pretty cool. I haven't put any sort of serious thought into which ones I would do. I've put more thought into where the legal bounds are on that, because someday we might want to carry some of that stuff. And I think the dress-up kits and detail part kind of thing is more okay than complete kits. But I'm not sure. But that said, there are some really cool, like, I've heard there's like a 1/60 scale or larger heavy arms, for example. It's really pricey. I don't know if I'd ever have the time or the patience to build a resin kit of that size, but it's definitely something that has me at least a little bit curious what that would be like. And I think that is it for questions. Like I said before, if you have a question you want answered, post it down in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer it next time. Thank you for watching. See you next time.